got herbs that do all of that stuff. Any excuse me. Anybody that work in most health food stores, when you ask them what clean the liver, they're gonna say burdock root, dandelion leaf, milk thistle are the best, right? And that's the beginning. Then you need a heavy metal cleanse because the soft metals, aluminum, iron, and whatnot, they contaminate the system and they causes a misfiring in the nerves. A buildup of metals in the brain can give you a stroke.
So, are there any natural herbs that you could give the brothers and sisters that that may actually help to do all these things?
Well, I just told you, burdock root, milk thistle, and dandelion cleans the liver. Then you can use what's his name of this? Green algae and cilantro to get the heavy metals out. One of them is a flush. I mean, they get it all up. And the other one is a binder in order to excrete it. It's so many supplements. I got a herbalist, Doc Pitt, on Facebook. I refer all the people that ask me so he can give them something based on having a conversation with them that's geared more specifically to what their current issue is. We also need to learn how to take spiritual baths, which is a constant spiritual cleansing process. Baptism was not a once in a lifetime or once a year thing. It was a daily ritual of bathing, right? Anointing and baptism is two different things.
Okay. So one of the questions in the chat says, is sitting in silence for an hour a day good for shadow work?
Can you read that again?
Is sitting with yourself in silence 1 hour a day good for shadow work?
That's part of it. But while you sitting in solitude, you have to look at the stuff you don't like in other people and make sure that's not part of who you are. Because those are things we normally condemn in other people first. The things that we do that we don't like in ourselves, we'll see them easier in another person.
Right. So I don't know whose name this is, but uric acid cleanse. At first it says an uric acid cleanse can help clear up kidneys and urinary tracts.
I'm not familiar with the boric acid cleanse, so I don't want to speak.
Uric, not boric, uric.
Spell it.
Uric acid, I thought was in urine.
It is. It is. Well, they do have people who drink their own urine for health purposes. I'm not one of them, but they do have people that do that. And that is an ancient practice.
Okay, so as far as like with the children, right? The best way to get the children, because I know a lot of the sisters and brothers do have children. I even know a lot of single dads is literally taking care of their child by themselves without even the mother in some cases. But what way should we be dialoguing with the children? What way can we actually prepare the children for the upcoming events and how things are happening to us?
The children need to prepare the adults. They ready. We ain't.
Explain that.
They born ready. They born into these children that's being born now ain't like we was. They are being born with a higher sense of self than any of us had born before 2000. All these babies born after 2000 is on another level. And if you pay attention, when you're looking at TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, the most comprehensive or the most easily to comprehend information is coming from the youth. I got young brothers listening to me, and then they go back and explain it to their peers and they understand it perfectly fine. But you got adults talking about that nigga crazy. Right? Because the adults can't grasp those new concepts as well as the youth.
Yeah, it's like I see how youth help us so much because they're born in this technological scientific day and age, and it's like they're like super advanced.
Yeah, well, you look at the average 1 or 2 year old know how to work your tablet. They know how to work your phone probably better than you.
Yeah.
Right. So they already born adapted to the environment that we created before they came. The goal is to start moving to an environment with the children in mind. That's matriarchy. The patriarchy don't have the children in mind first. And
You
the patriarchy, the man is the sole focal point.
Okay, so moving with the children in mind. That means what exactly?
All of the social constructs that we fought against for the last couple hundred years, the children should not have to fight those social constructs. We as adults now, we the elders now, so it's our job to initiate the changing in the construct so that the children can have the best possible future before them. And then we raise the children by showing them what we're doing to give them their best life in the future. Right? Because the children of the future, the adults already had their horizon, son. Especially when you get 30, 40 years old, whatever you ain't done and accomplished by then, if you better get on the ball, you can get left behind.
That's absolutely correct. So financially speaking, you were saying before that basically all these banks and stuff are going to collapse. And so, people are still chasing the almighty dollar. What are we supposed to be doing in relation to the financial aspect? Because it takes finances to be able to feed your family, to take care of our women, our children, etc.
Okay, so first thing is, if the banks collapse, what's going to happen to the money?
Okay, the money is going to be no good.
The wealth's still going to be here, but the money going to be gone. So we need restructure to be recipients of the wealth that the banks can no longer process. So we have to learn family banking.
And what does family banking?
Excuse me?
What does family banking tell?
That's how to run your own bank. So you becoming like the big mom in your family is going to be the CEO of the family bank. And this is going to lead to what we call the eldest female that's most loved and respected by the entire family is the big mom. And it's her job to go and assess the skill sets of the people in the family to find out who's financially literate. Because we can't compete with centralized banking when all of the centralized banks is in the hand of less than 1% of the population of the planet. We always at their mercy. The only way to combat that or to counter that is to go to family banks and decentralize banking. To do away with fractional reserve banking that is ran off debt. By keeping you in debt, they're keeping you in slavery because debt equals slavery. So the family banking is everybody learning how to handle wealth and how to distribute it among the family according to their merit.
So what will wealth look like in a society or an environment like that?
It's gonna look like everybody rich.
He says, "Gonna look like everybody." Okay. So we have another question here. Do you think that we will ever get to the point to where we can? I think you already touched on that, where we can communicate without actually using the spoken word.
We already can. We already touched on that.
Yeah, that's what I said when I read that. Another thing is, will babies be? Will there be a need to actually
your mouth. That's a circuit.
Mm.
And before you do it, y'all have to go over the best life scenario that y'all trying to create.
Okay.
When y'all do it and y'all in agreement and y'all make that circuit, you
Right.
go straight to source. You bypass every motherfucking intercessor they ever gave us, and you go straight to source energy to download it.
Wow. And that's it. I knew it was something. I was like, babe, like, we got to ask him. And we thought we've been doing it right by, you know what they say when you're orgasm, you manifest, you think of, but I was like, I know Rod got like a deeper, you know what I'm saying? Something that we can do that we know that it's for sure.
The climax, because remember, the uterus is a portal straight to source.
Right.
So when the climax come, that's what they call the waterfalls of heaven.
Mm.
That means that whatever y'all set y'all intentions for, it's just a matter of time before it manifests. The stronger you are, the shorter your turnaround time is. And the shorter your turnaround time, the faster you see it manifest. When you start with something small, with an identifier. I'm going to see a $5 bill with the letter J on it. Right?
Right.
And then, so that's something small. The universe can move that easy because you probably got a pocket full of $5 bills.
Right.
Right? But don't look for it. It's going to pop up, and then that's going to tell you what your manifestation turnaround is. And then the bigger the thing you're trying to manifest, the longer the turnaround time is, because the universe is realigning shit in order to produce it for you.
Mm. Oh, yeah. You hear that, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah, we most definitely. Yes, and this Maurice Rod.
What's up, big O?
Maurice, peace, God.
How you feeling, fam?
I'm good. So you taking notes, right?
Off top, man. You already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you start getting your good workout in beforehand.
Yeah,
You
man.
want to exhaust physical energy before intercourse so that you can be operating on straight spirit energy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's real.
That's crazy. That's something I would have never thought of.
Yeah. It's the same as when you're trying to learn something new. When your mind all over the place, you can't focus.
Yeah.
Right? But if you go burn off some energy where you can calm down, now your focus is clear.
Right.
Yeah. The sister said do squats. She actually on point because when you're doing squats, you sending the energy from your root chakra up.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We got 4 boys, so you already know
Mm-hmm.
it's going on.
Yeah. In order for you to have 4 boys, that means he been doing everything he supposed to do.
No, I was mad. I was mad at God. I was like, man, I'm on punishment because I want a daughter so bad. I want a man in me. I'm the only woman in the house, so it's my husband and my 4 boys, and it's like I want a girl, but I'm scared to try again because if it be another boy, it's just like no, I ain't gonna keep going down that road. But it's a reason why I do know it's a reason why I have men in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's time for you to start getting the young girls in your area that doesn't have a woman to look up to. That's why you don't have no daughters.
Yo,
For 2 reasons. One is he doing what he supposed to do, so you grant him you agree to allow him to reproduce himself. One of them boys he got to come back through.
we already probably know who. That's Charlie. That's Charlie all over. It's his.
They know.
Yeah.
That's him.
I tell Rick all the time.
You see, that's the first thing I asked you. Which one y'all
Yes,
birth from?
and you
Yeah,
hit it right on the head.
yeah.
We already
That's
like
him.
his mama just died 2 months ago, and she came in my dream, and she know that her son played lottery heavy, and she came in my dream, and she said, and she gave me a ticket number, and it made it seem like we already won. It was 154, and every day I keep saying 154, so I feel like it's just a message of her just letting me know that she around. It's her number. And then Reese just said that 154 just came out Georgia Lottery yesterday. It's like she always revealing herself. But before she died, she said, Maurice, I know who I had. That's June. That's June Harris right there. That's Charlie. She said that. And that's crazy. You came right out and said it's somebody's grandfather. We been told you that. The little boy, he do not act like he too. Yeah, I told him about my dream, and he broke that down. And I'm a dreamer, right? Every time I had dreams, I call my family and I let them know. If I dream of death, that mean a life coming. And if I dream of the death and it was a boy, that mean it's a girl coming. Like I didn't learn to decipher my dreams.
Yep, that's called flipping. That's how you flip as above, so below. Because when it comes to you in the spirit message, you have to know how you interpret it.
Yes, and I had to do. I had trial and errors for a long time. Now I master it. Like I get so mad. I'm like, God, why would you give me this ability if I can't stop what's getting ready to happen? Like, here, let me know it's a boy in my family that's getting ready to pass, and I can know which aunt child getting ready to pass. Like I had a dream of my father, so I knew it was gonna be on my daddy's side. You know what I'm saying? It's like I had to learn to decipher my dreams in order for me to. So I just had a dream last night of the daycare workers. The day was at a funeral. So I called when I dropped my babies off today, and I said, "It's somebody in y'all family. It's a girl getting ready to have a child, and it's gonna be a boy." And it was like I said, "So when it happens, just let me know." But it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Just like I want to tap in and want to get, I guess, make my abilities more stronger, or I'm just limited to just that.
No, long as you practicing deciphering your dreams, you're gonna get better and better at it.
Okay.
Then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna have a dream. If you remember the dream, you're gonna know exactly what it meant.
Yeah, that's how I knew that she was a real deal. Like I've been watching Black Magic. He been having so many guests on his page. I've been watching Collab, been watching everybody. I never had a dream about nobody, but I had a dream about you. And I'm like, yo, I said, Reese, whatever this man said, I'm following him. He's telling me like it's a reason why you came in my dream. I don't dream. When I dream, it's real deal. I just don't be dreaming just to be dreaming. It's a message in it. So that's why I knew I had to get in contact with you and let you know what I dream and like what did he tell my aunt? That's a damn hard Christian. But you just like you made everything come to light now. Now I understand. Now I understand. And I appreciate you.
I told her Jesus is ISIS. And it wasn't because I told it to her. It's because when I told her, it resonated with her deepest spiritual intuition, and that's when she knew.
Yeah, and she was all on the board with us, and we were just walking around, just waking people up, like you was a modern day Jesus, so to speak. Like we were just going around waking people up. Like
Oh, I'm not finna dress in drag, so I'm not.
right,
I'm not finna be no modern day Jesus because I'm not dressing in drag.
right. But we was waking our people up, and I see like that's what you here for, and I know you the real deal. You just ain't talking just to be talking. You like you.
Oh yeah, because I hate social media with a passion.
Yeah, but you here for a reason. Like you see how you woke this whole household up. Like you here for a reason. I appreciate you. I'm gonna get right back on your live and keep following you, keep watching you, and keep filling up. I'm damn near. I gotta get another notebook. Like you the true babe. I love you, Rod. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, love.
All right, King. All right, peace, God.
All right.
Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Where you chiming in from?
New Jersey.
Jersey in the house, Turnpike, Sada Shakur. That's her territory.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
She
wow.
displaced from my motherfucking land, but they about to bring her back with honors.
Okay, because maybe I think that might be another confirmation for me. So I just wanted to say thank you so much and gratitude to you because you've been saying everything, part of everything that I've been saying since I was like 13 and 14. And now it's coming to light. And I'm realizing, because, I stopped doing certain stuff because I knew I couldn't speak to certain people on a certain level. So I just was saying certain things. And they used to call me Martin Luther King or Malcolm X in high school and stuff. They used to say I was preaching when I was just speaking from passion. That's it. So I stopped that. But I noticed people was continuing doing, dropping the jewels and dropping the knowledge. And I just want to say thank you so much. And I appreciate everything.
I think you're just trying to make me blush.
No, seriously. Thank you so much. Like, seriously, I even my dreams and certain dreams I had, and I don't know if it was because I was probably listening to you or whatever, but everything from the schools, how I compared the schools being like jail. I was telling people why the bell ringing at a certain time and how all the doors is lined up like cells, like how I was breaking down words in high school, like looking at the word history and a whole bunch of like mental, like, and all that, govern your mental and all that. So I was telling people this, and they were just looking at me like I was crazy, telling me I was worshiping the devil and stuff. So thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it.
But you keep your head up and fuck what they talking about and fuck who they telling.
Oh
Black
yeah,
Girl Magic
definitely.
run this bitch. So
Yeah,
y'all see,
definitely. And
Asada gonna tell y'all herself when she tell y'all her story.
and can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
It's about like certain dreams I had. Like one dream I had about my uncle, not my uncle, but it was like a lady on top of a hill, and then Sen just told me to act. It was like an old lady. I'm not too sure, but she was just like everything was just like kind of dark or gray, black and white, and it was like an old lady on top of the hill. So Sen just told me to ask my mother, and I asked my mother. I told her I just had a dream about an old lady on top of the hill. Then she said, "Oh, my uncle used to call me old lady on top of the hill," and I'm like, "What?" So I was wondering, what does that mean? And then I had a dream about her. She had mushrooms all over her body. I got the chills so bad. It was like, ugh. I had a dream my mother had mushrooms all over her one time. And I was just wondering, what does that, like, what the symbolic of it? Because I've been learning certain stuff that you were saying. I noticed I was doing flips. I just didn't know what it was at all.
So your mama carried Lilith energy. Lilith was undermined when they put the moon to block the energy of Saturn, so that the women can't control their menstrual cycle,
hmm
right? And then the women took a while, but they figured out how to use the moon magic, right? So when they learned that, they knew that if they wanted to tap into their Lilith energy, that they would have to wait till the moon went dark for 3 days. Lilith is the big sister who is going to be Big Mama next. Just like Sekhmet is in line to be Queen of Heaven and Earth next. Right. So Lilith tied right into the Big Mama energy. But she's governed by Saturn. And that's why they villainize and demonize Saturn so much.
Yeah, I got Saturn on my finger right here. On this finger
So it
right
ain't no
here.
coincidence. On your index finger?
On my middle finger. My middle one.
Man, that's air.
And
That's
then it's, I'm
that's the
sorry.
Aquarian finger. Air sign, Aquarius.
Yeah, it's so much. And then I noticed like my family names. I've been was like questioning everything. I remember certain stuff when I was 3 years old. I was like it was just so much. Like when you said Obama, how Obama didn't speak after 3 months, I said that to myself. Like, and I knew when I was going, I'm like I was unsure or certain, but I'm like, nah, this is like, then. And then when you mentioned that he ain't speaking 3 months, I was saying that right there, that during that time, I'm like, why he ain't speaking? Why he not speaking? And I'm like, maybe I just like, don't mind. I even question myself during this time. Like people around me had me questioning myself. Maybe I was thinking I was crazy and stuff. One time I even thought maybe I was worshiping the devil, but I'm like, no, because I know what the hell I'm seeing. Like I see certain stuff. I see clouds shake like certain things. There's a whole bunch. Like I know my family, their names. Like my mother's Latasha, Sophia, Sky. I got aunt named Trinity. Like a whole bunch of my aunt named Crystal. So I was just looking at the names and I was thinking maybe it was telling a story or something.
It is.
Or I wasn't bugging. Because
What?
I'm like, why all these names are just like my aunt Teresa and I got Aunt Maria, like certain names I knew it was like putting the story together, but I didn't know. And then both my sides, of my father and my mother's side, they both got Irish names and stuff. And then my great great grandmother said she was Cherokee, and I was trying to figure out like what exactly. I didn't know the route like to go exactly to figure out the bloodline exactly because like the family is separate. Like I've been trying to get it together and like because for some reason I just knew like for the last 5 years I've been saying the king is coming, the king is coming. Like I don't know why I've been saying that. I've been saying certain stuff and it just been just confirmation after confirmation. It's like the story of like how maybe somebody some creature came or not a creature but being came down and the planet had kids with somebody else and I found that was like a story similar to I think the book of some book, I'm not too sure.
It's in Genesis, Genesis chapter 6, but it's in the Sumerian tablets.
Yeah,
Eliu, so Eliu was a Scot. He lost the throne to Anu. He was the ruler before Anu. And Anu challenged him for the throne. You challenge for the throne is hand-to-hand combat. So Iliu got his ass whooped in exile. And when he got exiled, he discovered Earth, because this is where they sent him, but they thought they were sending him to an uninhabited part of the universe. When he found Earth, he discovered the monatomic gold in the Indian Ocean. Right? So he telepathically called Anu. Anu was like, "What the fuck you calling me for, bitch ass nigga?" And he was like, "I got something for you. I got something for you." He said, "This better be good, because you exiled. You ain't got no business calling me."
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then he told him, he said, "I found something that can help repair the ship, Nibiru, so that it can last, much longer." Right? But they found it in the water first, in the monatomic form. And so he got some of that, and they built a Stargate for them to come down here. He told them what to do to build the Stargate, and then he had to ping the Stargate until they lined up the Stargate to Earth to get here. So he sent Inanna, he sent Enki, and he sent about 7 nurses. Right? Those became known as the 7 creative spirits. Right? But the 7 nurses, they always represent Pleiades. The Pleiadians don't believe in none of the bullshit Enlil do. Enlil is a dictator. And Enki is a hedonist. He don't give a fuck if the earth fall apart as long as he can get some good pussy and something good to eat. That's all he care about. Right? Enlil, he don't care about no sex, no food, none of that. He just want control and power. Right? So now you see the differences in how they had conflict in that odds.
Mm-hmm.
So when they interfered with the development of us on the earth, Enki was the first one to do that, but everything that he did, he sent Inanna to get permission from Prime Creator and Mother Earth. He was bypassing Nibiru the whole time. So when Enlil came, he said, "Y'all can produce this gold faster in larger abundance than y'all doing. Y'all being lazy. I'm going to take charge of Earth." So Enki and Inanna went to Nibiru to protest to Anu. "We don't want him on Earth. It's a peaceful place. It's a paradise." This is your Garden of Eden story. So I knew he was like, "Well, why is y'all telling me? Y'all sort that shit out. Y'all grown motherfuckers. Don't bring that bullshit to me. I don't want nothing to do with it. Long as y'all save the motherfucking planet ship, I don't do what you got to do." And so Enlil came to complain that he wanted to remove the mitochondrial rights of rulership from Earth, and he wanted to install patriarchy. So one of Inanna's scouts came and told her what Enlil was lobbying Anu for. And she went up there and blew a gasket on his punk ass. So you think that because you got the Y chromosome, you better? Motherfucker, do this. Raise your motherfucking gown, pap your girls, and push me out of sun, nigga. And so he started laughing and said, "You can't have one without a Y chromosome." And she said, "I'll be back in 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And when she presented her son, before Anu and Enlil blew a gasket, that's what caused the war in heaven. Because now she got a son that got the Y chromosome white rulership, but he also has the mitochondrial inheritance of the earth. And that undermines his authority. Undermines his authority and his jurisdiction on earth. So he was immediately pissed. So his response was, "I'm finna go tear this bitch up. I'm gonna make these motherfuckers do what I want them to do, and I guarantee you they're gonna have 10 times more gold." And Enki was like, "You fucking with our 9 people, dog. We don't do that down here. Leave them sisters alone." So he brought a whole horde of his motherfucking soldiers down here. That's the Genesis 6 story. And when he seen that it was having that it wasn't making them beholden to him, he really got pissed. That's when they came with the flood to destroy everybody. Right? So now he flooded this bitch out. Then from there, all war broke out. It's a big old empty space after the flood. The ship that they said was Noah's Ark, it wasn't a boat. It was a jumper ship. It was where they used to transport gold to Nibiru. It's called the Crystal City. And the Crystal City was stayed on Nibiru until the end. Now it's coming back. But when it come back this time, it's gonna stay here. So that's how it happened.
Okay, thank you so much. Can I also ask you another question? Um, and you know, Mama asked a few questions.
Go ahead.
And you know, you can always cut me off and let me know whenever you're ready to go off or get somebody else.
Oh,
I'm alive.
when Instagram is left on here.
How many minutes? I couldn't hear it because the thing messed up.
About 10 minutes. It's about 10 minutes left for a cut, y'all. But go ahead with your question.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. One time, like it's been so many so many awkward moments and so many stuff been confirmation, and sometimes I get creeped out and stuff. But I've been learning, you know, not to like, you know, not have no fear or anything like that because fear's what been stopping me for even dropping knowledge and stuff because I've been noticing how certain things and certain reactions been happening and what town I'm in and certain stuff. And I noticed the energy around. And one time I had a dream, and it was during the time where I think you was talking about Larry Hoover and what Hood Hiller. And I had a dream about a book. It was like a little book, like a key. It was blue. Every time you flip it, it either be blue, but it had pictures. I had pictures of people. And I'm not sure if they was in jail or it was just like prison pictures, but it was every time I flip it, it'd be blue a picture or it'd be red a picture. And then I thought about the flips, what you was describing and what you were saying. So, and then I had another dream about me being in a mall and it was a T-shirt with a big old ankh on it. Like I was shopping and looked up, it was a big old shirt with an ankh on it. And I had another dream about this lady. I'm not gonna name her name, but we was all in white and it was in a building, and then all of a sudden a red alarm came on, like it was a fire and everything was red. And we stopped what we was doing, and I got creeped out because I'm like, because me personally, I had even people come up to me like saying Wicca, like I met some people who did Wicca, and they say, "Oh, you were coming," and I never wasn't feeling it because I don't like doing certain stuff collectively and certain stuff.
You just gotta have your own circle.
Yeah, and discernment. Because this other lady, she came up to me. She called herself a guru, and I went to go test her not even test her out, but just went to go because I believe I needed counseling. Like probably like I feel like I need a counselor, but I know I could talk to myself. I've been talking to myself and everything, and people been thinking I was crazy because I talked to myself, but I feel like though that's necessary.
Self-talk is one of the most powerful spiritual training exercises you can do.
I've been doing that for long.
That's why
I've been called crazy or I'm weird.
Yeah, that's why they tell you if you talk to yourself, you're crazy to stop you from using self-talk.
So she was she told me to I could give her a birth chart and she'll learn and she know my soul more than me. She said we were just talking and like whatever. She had her.
That's a red flag right there.
I knew I was a bugger and then I'm like, because that tweaked me. I'm like, hold on, you know my soul better than me. And then I'm looking in her eyes. She winked while she said that. So I said, nah, because I didn't like what she said. So I'm like, that's like that was a red flag. Her wearing the mask. I don't mess with the mask or anything like that. Like you know. But when she said that, I was just looking at her like, did you know? I don't know if she knew who was in front of her. Or she don't know who I know is in front of me. But when she said that, I didn't like it. And then next time I seen her, I was done. We was talking. I said, yeah, I'll let you know if I want to give you my birth chart or something like that. But I knew not to because I don't even want to look at I like surprises. And I feel like if I look at it, I don't need to look at it. Like I'm looking at my chart a little bit, but I'm not going that deep into it. But I didn't feel comfortable at all when she said that to me. Then last time, probably like 2 weeks later, she was before that. Excuse me if I'm jumping all over the place, but she was saying you can give donations. I accept donations and stuff like that. And that class, she offered it for me for free or whatever. And she had fruits and everything. I had tried. She had all her statues of the Buddha and every I don't know what other statues with the 8 arms. You know the all the Buddha statues or whatever. She was saying the fruits, people eat fruits and give thanks. And she gave me the fruits. I eat none of the fruits. I just tossed it out. And I said thank you anyway. But then I think her like 3 weeks later and I said hi to her. She was like, she was avoiding me. Like she didn't want nothing else to like to talk to me or anything. I said, cool, that was just a confirmation to let me know. Because if I didn't want your services, you should just accept it and be grateful. I even came and gave you a chance to even think about it, to even think about even having you assist me. So for her to give me that vibe and that energy, I said, yeah, I did the right thing. Because you didn't have to like act like you ain't see me or avoid me or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, I most likely did the right thing. And then you just said, yeah, definitely. So that was my question. That situation, with that being that what she said, she know my own soul. As if nobody could know your own soul better than you, right?
That's not possible. You gotta be damn near on your deathbed dead for you not to know who you is. You know enough about yourself to know that didn't sound right. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beginning of self-knowledge. Just knowing somebody come tell you that they know your soul better than you do. They on some bullshit.
Yeah, so, yeah, and I felt bad. I'm like, no, don't feel bad, because I got a heart. I got a good heart, and I've been learning, like, to, don't have my heart too open, because not everybody, is for you.
Yeah,
Not,
that's a
yeah.
fact.
Mm-hmm. And I've been seeing stuff in the clouds, shake like clouds. I've been seeing lights and a whole bunch of stuff is disappearing and popping back up. So I just want to say thank you so much, and thank you for your time. And you've definitely been letting me know that I'm not crazy, and the confirmation, and
Yeah,
I've been on
you
the right
sure ain't
path.
crazy. Yeah, you sure not
Yeah.
crazy. Look, if anybody want to find out if somebody crazy for real, give them a math problem.
A
Serious.
math problem? What a math problem?
If you insane, you can't do basic math.
Mm.
It requires logic that you don't have access to. It don't even have to be a complex math
A
problem.
math problem.
So, you know what I'm saying? They call you crazy. Say, I'm not crazy because I know 6 times 6 is 36. 2 times
Mm-hmm.
8 is 16. You can't do math if you're truly insane.
Yeah. Because I've been noticing everything is math or just about the numbers and stuff. Like my
Mm-hmm.
birthday is right after Christmas. I'm a twin. And I got another sister. She was born the same year. Everybody be thinking we triplets, but we not.
That's called Irish twins.
Yeah. 9 months apart. And I wanted to know how could if, for example, if nobody in my family don't want to, because I have 3 nephews. I don't have no kids. And only one of my sisters have kids, and she had 2. And my mother, she had another kid, Sophia, Muhammad, and Sebastian. So that's the 3 youngest, and we don't associate with our family at all because we had like problems and stuff. And I've been trying to like get to figure out. I just can't put nobody back together again, and I don't want to leave them alone because we only talk to my aunt and my grandmother from my father's side, and we only have my sisters from my mother's side. So it's been kind of hard for me to like. I've been trying to figure out what to do because I know I'm gonna leave and physically one day, and I want to leave them something. I want to leave them like at least people or family. So I've been trying to collect books and stuff like that because I know my nephew, he's in tune. He looked up at the sky one day and said, "We're in a whole other galaxy." He told me he's seen his body outside of himself, like he sees his body while he was sleeping. So I know he's in tune, and I don't know how to go about bringing like a family to them because even my own family, there's all females in the house, and it's like very aggressive sometimes, and like a lot of masculine energy, not too much feminine energy. And I've been wanting to know like how can I bring like
Peace, Chief. Brother, I appreciate you coming through, man. Man, I listened to one of your bills for the first time, and tonight I'm listening to you, and you saying some things that I could correlate with and relate to because I've heard them from other people or I've either researched them. But there's some spiritual things that you said that I know. I said there's no way that he got that from a man. That's something that he's gotten from a download. And one of the things that stuck to me was when I heard you say conjure wars, and you went into it, but you only dropped about 2 or 3 clicks on it. So my question for you tonight is, if you could explain to the audience to help the American Indian community understand what exactly the conjure wars are and how they are fought. Is it a physical war? Is it a spiritual war? Is it a war that's spiritual in its word, or is it a combination of both? And if you know who some of the players are in that war, physically, can you drop the family some on that? Appreciate you, brother.
So, yeah, that's a good, excellent question. The conjure wars is fought between practitioners of varying different styles of voodoo and sorcery. The conjure war that we was under, Feathers versus Fezzes, was a amnesia war that was fought by us having to struggle for enough knowledge to overcome the confusion as to who we really were. The agreement, the players, all of the fezzes that was surrendered for the conjure war are lined up in the George Washington Memorial. You can see them online under images if you pull up George Washington Memorial Fez Museum. And it's going to show you the fezzes, and those are the names of the people on the fezzes that challenged us to a conjure war. And if you pull up the Pope's most bloody oath, that was their agreement with the Pope to murder the kings, the chiefs, the kings, the princes, and the people of the land, which was us. If you pull up the George Washington challenge, it comes up and it leaves the feathers out of the challenge because it was us that had to discover who we was in order to reclaim our birthright to restore the land, air, and the water. The discovery came in from my part from being a witch doctor and knowing sorcery and being commissioned with compelling all of the sorcerers who had open conjures to close their conjure, which brought me to the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. If you look up Voodoo Cult of Islam, you will see there was newspapers back in the 1900s about the Moorish Science Temple being involved in voodoo. Now, when I started putting the pieces together, it didn't make sense because I'm always been taught that the enemy looked at like paleface. I never knew that the conjure war between us was for one of us to know which side of the water we originate from and where they came from to get here. This is in the George Washington challenge, right? Then they have the secret oath. All of these are documents you can find. The secret oath goes through all of the shit they was going to do to us. The government is ran according to a book called The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. This is the principles of oppression that is the doctrine of white supremacy. It's a military strategy to use a cat's paw to conceal who the real power players is by giving you Plato's Republic played out in the stage show. So we had to become educated enough where we surpassed them in knowledge so that we can realize that we was already here. We didn't come on ships. We organic to the land, and we wore feathers, and the invaders, conquistadors, blackamoors, the black nobility came after exile. They wore fezzes and turbans. So now we over here in a perpetual, what they call protracted struggle to remember who in the fuck we are. And I'm here to remind us that we wore feathers, they wore fezzes, we won, they lost, they have to leave, and we cool.
That's absolutely, bro. That's fire. But that's some clarification. Like I said, there's some things you drop spiritually that I catch personally, and I know that you can only get them. You have to be in touch with some sort of higher master teaching. It's not coming from a physical man. So when I say that, I'm saying two people can look at a document, right, at the same document, and what one person gets from reading that, they gonna see one thing, but then the spiritual eye is gonna see the same thing that the physical eye sees, but then be able to tie that to the presence of a being, a real live sentient being. That's another level of it. So when I heard you speak again on the conjure war, and then just some of the things you were saying, I said, okay, you came on the show. I said I was going to ask Top, man, can he go a little bit into that so that the family could get an understanding that it is a war of words, and the Bible is good and it's bad. It's a gift and a curse, but you have to have the eyes to see it because it's coded like that. Everything they do on this continent right here is in there, but you have to go through so many sources and layers to get to it, and you have to be willing to have a spiritual eye. If you ever try to approach it like that physically, you'll miss it, right? I heard you say cat's paw. So what I've understood the cat's paw is the same thing as the lion's grip. That it's the same presentation when a brother in the brotherhood, they meet a brother. So the cat's paw, but then that's even looking at jaguar, the ancient culture of Mesoamerica, the jaguar, and the science behind the jaguar.
The jaguar is in over here is the same as a leopard in Africa, and in the Far East India, and the jaguars are the pelts that the priests wear to identify them clearly among the people when they in traditional native garb. Where you have the stealth priests, these are warrior priests. They use conjure wars. They wear the Black Panther pelt because they are a war priest. So the priesthood is broke up into functions and functionality. The jaguar priests are the ones that deals with the most social issues. The stealth priests are the ones who deal with the spiritual warfare aspect. And when the spiritual warfare becomes physical, they are the advisors to the chiefs on how to approach warfare. So Tupac give you the flip Machiavelli. Machiavelli was the advisor to the Medici, and he wrote The Prince. So Tupac becomes the advisor, Panther priest, to one that he's saying, we need guerrilla tactics. When you call for guerrilla tactics, you call for the next guerrilla clan to come in behind the Panther clan. They show it in Black Panther, the movie. The guerrilla clan don't want to be the clan to rule, but before they let these foreigners rule, they'll take the power. The gorilla grip is the master grip. The lion's paw is the master grip. But when you say cat's paw, you're saying something different. A cat's paw is you use somebody to do your dirt so that you can't be seen for the dirt you do. And that was the great con game they was using on us. While they was using their understanding of the stars to map when we was coming back so they could murder us, we didn't know this was taking place in the Masonic lodges of the Scottish Rite. We didn't know. Noble Ali went in and discovered what they was doing was using voodoo on us and telling us voodoo was evil. And then the greatest defense for voodoo is fucking voodoo. You can't win a voodoo war if you don't use voodoo. That's spiritual warfare. It's being able to call on the lower spirits of the earth to come and aid you in restoring balance to nature by restoring the affairs of man to their proper order as a matriarchy. You won't notice if you can't read the energy signatures of the earth. They call that
Wow,
tapping the Akashic record.
wow, that's interesting. You said about the you mentioned about the cat's paw. What do you think about when we look at the Florida panther, right? What they would call the Florida panther, which some biologists they label it as a cross between a African leopard and a indigenous jaguar. But in my research, when I looked at the range of it, right, from where today, where it's from historic today to where it go all the way back to 1800. It's ironic that the same place that all the tribes were. It's ironic that that's the same place that the range of the panther was, or the jaguar was. But what they have now is what they call a panther, which is just a genus class of it. It's not really the species. So we call them black jaguars, but they're labeling it as a leopard and or a hybrid mix between that African leopard and a jaguar.
We've been had black jaguars over here ever since jaguars been here. They pop up
Correct.
periodically in the species naturally, the same way that the black leopard is the black panther from Africa, right? It still got spots, whether it's a jaguar or a leopard, but it's just black because of its function in nature. It serves a purpose, but the priesthood of the jaguar hold that sacred secret about the purpose of the black jaguar, right? I gave you the exoteric version of the stealth priests and advisors to the chiefs. The black leopard is from Africa. The black jaguar is from over here. And both of them are called black panthers. We also get black cougars over here. The ironic thing about a black cougar is it got spots like a jaguar. But the regular cougar don't have spots normally.
Right. That's a good question. One more question now. I want to hog it up, brother. What do you think about and because this is just a topic that I've been working on for like the last month, and to go back to what, like you said, about places you go, we think we've been there, we haven't been there, we're the first ones to be there, and truth and reality is, spiritually, when you look at it, it's just an ancestor. We're just walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. So
We are our ancestors coming back to restore what we fucked up before.
Right. So with that being said, I looked at the length of time I've been here, and I'm in Central Florida, but I've been in Florida more than half of my life. And my people want me to move, but it's something about this land that I have a connection to, and I'm gonna tell you why real quickly. When I got ready to get out the Army in 2002, right? My wife called at the time I was married. She's just messing around. She called a tarot card reader, and long story short, what the lady told me, she says that I see you around. You're gonna be surrounded by water on three sides. I had never been to Florida. I moved back to Atlanta. I moved to Florida 2 years once I got back to Atlanta, and I've been in Florida ever since. But I stayed close to the beach, and I'm a Scorpio. That's my sun and ascendant. So I've been surrounded by water on three sides, but it's something about the land, and I've always been in this area of the Timucua people. But just recently, that study resonated with me, and I sat and meditated on it. Even just going through it, I took my time with it, and I've been there where these people have been. I see that, I could sense that spiritually. So my point is that with those people, do you think that the descendants of those people, some of those people, are still here in this region today, and that this theory that they are dead as a tribe is farce? What's your take on the Timucua people and their ancestry?
Well, shit, they've been there longer than the settlers. Listen, those are parts of those tribes that fought in the Seminole War. They just call us Seminoles to indicate that we was mixed up from among the tribes across the land. We got a rich culture down there. The culture is written on everything down there. You can't hide it. We used to walk the trees from Florida to Louisiana without ever touching the ground. Those were the Skywalker clans, right? They burned down the trees and chopped them down because they couldn't get us out of the thicket. We used to run in the water. The alligators wouldn't attack us, but they would attack them. So they started baiting the alligators with our babies. This is what was going on the land. And they needed the alligators to develop a taste for our flesh because they wouldn't attack us, but they would attack the invaders. We used to ride alligators down the river. They swim us all the way down the river. Tap him with the stick, and he'll roll to the bank and drop your ass off and go on about his business. Once the invaders came, we can't ride alligators like that no more. The Sobek priestess has been spoiled by the invaders because that's the priesthood that used to ride the fucking alligators. And they had a Sobek priesthood in Africa, where the crocodiles are. The crocodile was sacred over there. The alligator was sacred over here. So all of our culture is written all over the land, but they've given us misdirection as to what we see. You see that, but that's not what it means. That's the bullshit they run on us.
Damn,
But
that's heavy.
those people been there, man. Been there. They lived in trees and shit. Literally like build your house in a tree. And they built roadways that you could walk on with rest stations for you to have guest quarters, and all of the big mamas would be lined up at intervals because they know how long you're gonna walk before you get tired and need to rest and eat. They chopped all that. That's what all of the lumberjack legends is about. Them chopping the trees down on our land in order to overthrow the people, because we intimately connected to all of the nature of the land we from.
Yeah, that's on point though, because that with the Temuka people, man. And even when I did in my study, what I saw was they demonized the the Temuka people and said that they ate alligators like that often. But being down here, if you ever lived in Florida, people just used to it. It doesn't freak people out. They're just part of the community. Regular people down here, we don't get freaked out by seeing alligators. That's just what looked like a nice little lake. We just know, okay, it look to outside, it looked like you can go swimming in there. But your ass get off in there, and then you're gonna be a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But it's strange that when you mentioned the part about there was the jaguar there, and then the crocodile here. I found a picture of a jaguar, feasting on a crocodile down in South America. They hunt them, right?
Yeah.
So that's crazy that you said that, and I made a meme with that, with the jaguar snatching the fucking crocodile up out the water, biting him on the back of the neck. So that's on point though, fam. That's on point spiritually. I can agree with you, man. I ain't no young buck in this, and I use wisdom and discernment. I have my own study tools, my own methods, but it's thorough. So when you come with something spiritual, I can pretty much rest assured that your other information is tied to it and linked to it. It ain't got to be 100% correct, but it's that you understand it and you walking in your truth, and your light is shining, and it's a beacon. And people listening, and we appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Salute to you.
I appreciate you too, brother.
In real way, that was deep too. Right there, you said, OG, when you was talking that connection with the trees, the tribe, the southeastern tribe, they used to bury they ancestors in trees. You feel me? So yeah, that was deep right there. But man, I want to appreciate you giving us the time tonight to come through and build with us, man. Shout out to the homie Chief for making that happen, putting that together. I'm definitely gonna tap back in with you, man. And if you give us another time to shine, this is our backup channel over here. They shot me down over there on that Kanye. I played the Kanye video. They shot me down for it on my other channel, but I definitely want to make that connection though. Bring you back on, man. Come rock out with us, man. We're a community, man. American Indians from all over, and we trying to put it back and preserve our ancestors, man. Our truths here, our family connection. We real big on genealogy, telling our story, knowing what happened to us. Going back in our genealogy, finding our our family migrations, anybody fought in wars, armies, and putting our story back together. And it's real good to have an OG like you to come through. And especially to be standing on indigenous paradigm, but definitely having that connection, to come, have these messages that you do have. You feel me? So definitely want to appreciate you coming through, rocking with us, man. I hope this ain't the only time. You got some last words or some last words to the people? Hold on, I do have a question for you. If you wanted anybody to know anything about Rod Hayes when this is over with, what would that be? When you're done with your journey, when you did your work, how would you want to be remembered?
I would like for them to be like when nobody else couldn't see it, He's seen it and told us and walked us to the promised land. That right there, that's enough. Once we wake up, if I'm responsible in any kind of way, just remember that I had played a part, but I stood on the shoulders of many giants in order to see what I see. I didn't get here by myself. I didn't do this alone. It was many of us. And many of the elders left many clues for me to put the shit together. And I was perceptive enough to listen to the elders of our people and override the miseducation of the invaders on the land. And I brought us back to an understanding of who we were. I was a contributing factor, but I wasn't the only factor. That's how I would like to be remembered.
That's deep, man. Appreciate your time, OG, man. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Man, I had a blast, man. I enjoyed the conversation. I'm grateful for the invite. We can reach more of our people when we start networking like this.